We'll start with Pledge Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So welcome to the October 7th meeting of the Charter Commission. We have a very abbreviated agenda this evening. We are going to review the minutes. We would normally take public input, but there is no public. Leo brought an issue up that I think we should review, and then we should talk about marketing the charter and continue to see if anybody has any changes to the draft that we've submitted. But let's start with the minutes. Does anybody have any changes to the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of September 23rd.
Anyone second?
I'll second.
Ooh,
You can have that.
Hawkins Senior, I think got in there first. So these are the September 23rd minutes. Any discussion or any changes? All those in favor of adopting the minutes, saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Any abstentions? Motion passes. No public hearing. Let us talk about the email that I forwarded to everybody from Leo on water and sewer and village districts, et cetera, et cetera. Leo, would you mind taking the lead on that?
No,
Okay.
basically, this is something we've been talking about from the beginning here, of either a water and sewer SB 11, or everyone sort of seems to be more in favor of village district, which would allow only water and sewer users to vote on the water and sewer budget and all, so on warrant items. But there's a question, I guess the attorneys looked into, as to whether a charter town can adopt a village district. And it's debatable, but I've been talking to John Borbad, who was a Newmarket boy. I guess some of the older people know John was born and brought up in town, and he went to work for several years ago for Pennachuck Water, and he's on this commission that is working for infrastructure improvements. He's on the governor's council, appointed him to it. Pennachuck, they're kind of a big water company. They supply Nashua water, and they actually in Newmarket, Pennachuck Water owns Shanda Farms water system. So John has been working with the water department in Newmarket the last several years on working on their water issues. So I've known John all his life, and so I talked to him, and you see the results that we've had. I guess, did you have any chance to get in contact with Adam Schroeder?
Yes, I've emailed him, but I haven't heard back from him. So I've asked him that the door is open, and if he wanted to just talk with me on the phone, I offered that as well.
No, okay. Well, I guess that's but John is on his commission, and he thinks, no, it would be quite easy to amend RSA 52 to include charter towns, and he's talked with other commissioners on this thing, and he seems that they would be supporting if there was an initiative to do it. Well, somebody's got to put it in, and Adam Schroeder is on this unit, and he would be a very logical one to put in an amendment to RSA 52 that seems like it would go through pretty easy. If you read the results, it was something that the RSA 52 has come up since the village districts. So I guess that's just a question of whether we're gonna, I guess the recommendation so far has been that we won't include either an SB 11 or a water district on the charter, but we'll try to get it done as warrant article, which is probably a good way to do it, of keeping it out of the old millennium. Questions?
Very interesting.
So if Mr. Schroeder comes here, that would be great. I'll see if, I will invite him to the 21st meeting if he can make it. If not, I'll try to get him involved with our concerns and hopefully see an amendment to 52, RSA 52. Other than that, does anybody have any other issues? Everybody's had the chance to look at the charter for a while. Does anybody have any concerns or changes? As you know, the charter is back with the attorney, and they've asked the Attorney General to take a quick glance at it to see if there are any giant issues that we need to be prepared to deal with. And as soon as we get that back, then we can move on to the next level with that.
I spoke to John Radigan briefly today because I wanted to see if he had heard anything, and he has not.
Okay.
He's heard nothing. At this point, he was going to just ping the guy to make sure he's still alive.
Okay. There's a low bar.
So,
Okay, and so if we don't hear anything by next meeting, I assume that we need to move this to the next level with or without the input of the Attorney General.
there's a statutory deadline,
Yeah,
so it's going to go up there by the statutory deadline, which is the 18th, if my memory serves.
the 18th of October?
Not sure, I don't remember exactly, but it's sometime this month. It's got to go up to them.
Okay,
Like 2 weeks, I forget exactly.
all right. Should we,
You don't actually expect me to read the stuff that I write, do you?
no, I don't.
Good.
Let me see, I have it all right here. I'm moving to a more electronic. Timeline. See if we find it first. Find names. Dang it.
I don't have a copy of the timeline with me.
Thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was October 30th, but I don't know.
It could be the 28th, it's possible. My assistant, Mr. Zank, is ruffling through his papers right now. All job is to make me look good. There you go.
Probably in the one place I'm not looking.
His assistant has found it.
I have too many files in too many
I know
places.
where it is. It's in here.
Let's see, Charter Commission.
October 30th is the preliminary report deadline.
Okay. And we technically have
Certified
a
copy of
draft.
Preliminary report to be filed with the state.
Currently, there's no, we have not seen fit to add any changes to our current preliminary report, correct? So we really technically complied with the deadline. We just haven't formally submitted it to them.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so I guess we need to, would the commission like to have Attorney Radigan visit with us one more time before that deadline, i.e. the 21st of October? And we can make that day be kind of our drop-dead day for getting comments in? Al?
I missed the last meeting. One of the open questions, which may have already been answered, is whether any changes that we make to the charter have to be approved by the community as a whole, rather than individually. Did we get that answer?
We did, and we're allowed to batch them by subject matter. So that's going to be kind of the real fun task after we get all the stuff filed.
Okay, thank you.
That's my recollection of the conversation.
Right.
Anybody? Okay, all right.
That's really on the attorney
Yeah,
to
Good
write
point.
the articles.
right, good point.
That's-
I like that.
That's what we pay him for.
That's right. Yeah, so we don't have one big giant one or 15 million. We can actually put them together as long as they're rationally related, I guess. I don't know what the standard is. Okay. Well, hearing nothing else, I think that what we originally said in the minutes and my notes said about what we were going to talk about tonight was marketing. So we have Tony's website, we have a lot of people that we could go visit with, and then, of course, we have the presentations. I think, I'll just throw this out there, I'm happy to take a lot of that work and go visit with people. I think we should go to them rather than have them come to us. You see what kind of turnout we get.
Overwhelming.
Yes. And I think it might help to go visit people on their own turf, like if they have meetings to go, offer to go sit with the senior citizens or with the budget committee and the council and the planning board and whomever the charter commission feels is appropriate. So the first thing I guess we should do is develop a list and then kind of assign them. Right? Phil Nazaro wants to do the council, right?
Sure.
Does that make sense, Phil? Would you
Or
prefer
does
to
that
have
make
someone
you
else there
conflict?
who's not on the
Yeah.
council?
I mean, it's a really good point.
It might be helpful to have
Yeah.
a whipping boy in the audience.
In that case.
I mean, I certainly would
The
take.
rules Tony out.
Oh, no, it's gender neutral.
Oh, all right, I'm sorry.
Whipping person.
A whipping
Whipping
person.
Person.
Did we ever get any answers from any of the previous councilors other than that one?
No, we have 5.
We got 5.
5 or 6, I
Five or
haven't,
six.
it stopped,
Yeah, it just stopped.
unless you've gotten them.
No, I only have 5, actually. So if you have 6, you got one more than I did.
Well, there's 5 or 6. I've
Okay.
compiled them into a composite. It's completely slipped my mind because I haven't heard anything.
Yeah,
They came in pretty good, and then they
then they
stopped.
stopped. Oh, you're right, no, the one's the
Mostly
question.
recent councilors or any old councilors? Or
When you say recent,
last
recent
5
for me is
years?
different than recent for you.
5 years.
Oh, no, they go back in tenure to 1998.
98?
Yeah, but not before that.
Okay.
Not before that. So they cover the period from 1998 through 2012, 2013. Among the people who responded. So,
Should we look at even those short responses next meeting?
oh, sure.
All right,
I mean, I'll send around the composite,
okay.
the compilation of the responses.
We're doing
Clay, it literally slipped my mind.
Yeah.
Because,
Totally understandable. Well, let's get the list. So we want to go to the town council. I feel like the senior citizens is a good place to go. Anybody else? Planning board? Not the planning board?
Planning board.
Planning board?
yeah, planning board, for sure.
Budget committee.
Planning board.
Budget committee?
Budget committee.
Yeah, budget committee.
You want to go to the school board? You care?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should go. I think that's a good thing to do.
Doesn't
You're
matter.
telling the audience of the group as much as you're
Yeah.
telling the group itself.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure,
People watch the
absolutely.
School board than watch.
There's also been quite an emphasis this year on the CIP. So I
Right.
think the CIP committee should be included.
Yeah.
We have no more meetings scheduled, but CIP doesn't, excuse me. But there's no reason not to get them together.
You can send them a draft copy of the charter.
I agree.
Do you not hit all those people, though, in other groups?
The CIP committee, you'll hit everyone except for, there are actually 2 staff members on there.
Oh.
Is the draft up on the website?
No.
Okay. Do
Nope. I really haven't done much with the website. 'cause
you
I
want to
just
put it
haven't-
up? So then we don't have to
Yep.
send it. We can just send links to it? And that'll get people going to it at least?
We can ask Kathy to do that, too.
Onto the, yeah.
To put it on the town website, I mean, Kathy Castle, to put it on
Yeah.
the town website. We'll put up a clean version and a red line version. I don't know.
Yeah, why not? The more the merrier, I think.
Who else are we missing?
The other groups that come to mind to me are Newmarket employees.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mhm.
What about the business
The Business
association?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
NCDC still exists? I don't know how active it is.
What is the NCDC doing at this point? Drinking coffee?
I'd be gloating.
Yeah,
Our job here is done.
Absolutely.
All right.
Economic development. I'm just
Yeah.
grabbing nuts.
Is that a committee? The Economic Development
Oh,
Committee?
yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, is it a tech committee or
It is a
commission or
formed
board or what?
Committee.
Committee, okay. Anyone else?
Like PTA maybe?
PTA?
What do you,
Interesting, yeah.
I'm just thinking of forums
Diversity.
where community members get together,
Yeah.
where we can put information out.
Riverworks?
5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. It was amazing, the whole commission showed up. So, do you want to start assigning whipping persons?
Well, maybe if I could,
Sure.
what exactly are we going to present and how?
We are going to, I assume that in advance of going, we will send them either a link or a copy of the draft charter, and we will, I would assume that we're going to have like a talking points memo that we will develop over the course of the next few months. I think this is what our meetings are going to be like in November and December. And we're just going to agree that we're going to talk probably about the process, who we are, what the process was, where we ended up, why we ended up there, any questions. And I think that as long as we all agree on the messaging, it's good to have more than one of us out there doing
That
it.
was really my point, is we all have to be saying
The same
the
message.
same thing,
Yeah.
same message. And we could do this by PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Possibly?
Yes. I think that's a great idea.
Standard PowerPoint? I'm not a PowerPoint person, but
I think that if you,
standardized PowerPoint?
yeah, and if you're not, then you can take a physical, copy of the PowerPoint, and you don't have to worry about all the
I'm not
technology
worried
and
about
everything.
presenting it, developing it,
Oh, yeah,
writing
yeah, that's easy enough. I think we have a lot of time, because we don't want to do it too soon,
Yeah.
because if we do it in November and December, then people are going to forget about it by the time they get to March. I see this as happening in February.
it after the first of the year.
Yes.
Yeah. I think a PowerPoint presentation on a flash drive,
Yep,
same presentation and going around, I think would be a good thing to do.
I agree. Al?
Later on the agenda, we're going to talk about marketing.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what this
Is that really what this, I mean, this is going to be?
I don't, I probably should use the word education, not marketing.
No, but
Yeah.
I mean, the PowerPoint presentation would be one that we would present to any citizen.
Yes. I think John's right. It would be a PowerPoint, and then we'd have this standard memo outline that we would follow,
Yep.
whoever's going to give presentations. I don't have a problem doing a lot of them, and I think it'll work nicely. So, do you want to assign people now? I mean, we really don't technically have to worry about this. The only reason I mentioned, that maybe the only board that really should be told right now is the council. What's an update, kind
Yeah.
of, rather than a full-blown meeting with them.
What would be the reason for giving it to the council before everyone else?
No reason, really. I mean, you could deliver it as a member and say, hey, here's the Charter Commission's still moving. They're going to start educating the citizenry in January and February.
Yeah. I mean, we're not a committee of the council. Or
That's true.
By them, we're elected, so I
Yep.
just don't want to make it seem like we work for them or.
Right.
And I would think even the employees would be more important at this point, because they're going to be affected by it than the council would.
I wouldn't wait too long to start the discussion, because people have to have a chance to get used to it.
Get used to that.
Get
The
used
charter?
to- Get used to the proposed
Oh, okay.
changes.
How, there's nothing radical.
Yeah, that's it. Like,
No,
it's not like we're.
I agree, but people still want to have a chance to look at it and think about it, and kick it around.
I think if we start in January, at the first of the year, we will have enough time.
Yep.
Unless, does anybody have a different opinion?
If the draft is going to be made available,
Yeah.
people can go look at it if they choose to.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't see any harm in going to the council and saying, here's 3 things that are significant that's changing, and Phil can do that. This is basically where we're coming from. Details to follow. Strong letter to follow. So,
Strongly worded memo.
I mean, I certainly would make the draft available.
yeah.
I would let it be known on the website in Channel 13 that the draft is available at the town hall or on their website.
Put it in the newsletter.
Put it in the newsletter, like, get word out about it.
Yeah.
But, like, so there's like passive marketing like that, and there's gonna be the active marketing of like these briefs that we're talking about. That I think that we could start passive marketing as soon as possible and get into the active one closer to the election.
And if questions and feedback pop up, then we know where to go with the marketing.
Right.
So shall we take the versions we have now and offer them up? Or, I mean, they're always public documents, anybody can have them, but do we want to actively like post them on the
I don't
website?
see why
I
not.
think so.
Okay, all right.
We can't, I don't think we can imagine any significant difficulties coming back from Concord.
No, a lot of people would have missed it,
I don't, but
but you never know. So we were going to put a red line and clean, and a link to the old, and then the preliminary report.
Yeah.
Great.
When-
Go ahead.
So we had mentioned, Chris mentioned earlier, we'll ask the lawyer to give us sort of the chunk together. These are all the ones that are about this topic. These are all the ones about this topic, like the changes by topic.
Yeah, I think he's the only one who really can.
Yeah, I think sooner rather than later, because at the end of the day, what people at home are gonna want is not to read a red line version of the charter. They wanna know what's different.
Correct.
Right.
And just brief them, these are the changes, and they can look at the background document if they want to. I think, given most people's busy schedule, is probably the most efficient use of. We'll lose people if they have to go through a red line version of the charter.
Yeah, you're right.
And at some point, I think making the warrant articles available to people well ahead of time and I think we'll have to do some education just about the warrant articles. I mean, they're so wordy as it is, and then to have to read about technicalities in the charter, I think is going to be tough.
That's a very good point, to have those available long before the election.
Yeah.
That's a very good
Yeah.
point.
If
As
people
soon as
don't
we can.
understand it going into the voting booth, we've
Yeah.
already lost.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So then December, let me throw this out and we can talk about it. December, we would intend to have the work being done to group the changes. And then we would then, hopefully by the start of the new year, we would have a draft of what the warrant articles would look like. And then when we start the education/marketing in January and February, we have that, in addition to the full documents.
Repeat the first thing you said.
In December, we would start doing the work necessary to group all these changes into warrant articles.
But getting them grouped into sections by Attorney Radigan
Yes.
can begin right away.
Right. Oh, you mean, well, like now?
Sure.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, I think that would,
If you can just give us, this is how we should do it.
right.
So then in December,
down
we
at
will
a high
start our
level,
summaries
what we're talking
of
about.
those changes in layman's terms so that people can understand what's going on.
And I think this group ought to see those groupings to
Right.
agree or disagree whether something belongs in it or
Yeah.
doesn't.
And you can group the structure of your presentation around the way John suggests they should be grouped.
Perfect,
So that
right.
when people step into the voting booth, it's a familiar structure.
Yep.
They understand what they're looking at.
Obviously, at some point, we need handouts of this before the March election.
In a blimp.
What?
Blimp. The text of the charter running up the side of the lights.
Flashing lights.
The town blimp.
We have no budget.
Chief, can you work on that, the town blimp?
Got it in the budget.
The town dirigible.
I think it's a very small blimp, if I remember.
Maybe we could regionalize it and share costs with another town. That has a different town meeting date.
Regionalization, what a great idea.
One of the big things now in law enforcement is drones, right?
Yeah.
They're using drones. So we use the town drone.
He can't answer that question.
Started on the concept
How's
of
the paper airplane?
It floats 15,000 feet, it floats above the town. It's armed.
All right, so I will ask Attorney Radigan to plan on being at the 10:21 meeting, and I will tell him that we would like to have the warrant articles grouping to be started immediately, and then we are going to meet on the 21st, and then in November, we can start depending on if John starts giving this stuff to us, we can start putting together our presentation, and that's really where we are. And I guess in November, we can have some jockeying around and see what happens behind the scenes and see who ends up being the whipping person for these various boards and commissions. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
I would propose, and again, we can decide this later, that maybe having two people
At each
at
meeting?
at each
Oh,
one,
I think
just so that
yeah.
someone's not all alone. out
Well, you have the
there.
presenter and then the
Cut
whipping
back out.
person. That's the
Yeah,
idea.
okay.
You can point and say, well, that was really that person's thing.
Yeah.
And it will become whipping person.
Yes, whipping person, so that Tony gets an equal share.
Yes.
When is the drop dead date that the state has to get back to us with a yes or no on the final?
Do you have that
It's in
time?
December, isn't it? The end of the year?
I think
I think it is December.
December 7th,
Okay, so it's
deadline
early.
for state to respond to preliminary report. And that's where, if you don't hear from them, you're good to go.
It is literally D-Day,
It is literally, it's not D-Day, it's Pearl Harbor Day.
not Pearl Harbor Day, yeah.
One of those important days.
Deadline for state to respond, 12/7. Final report to be filed by the end of the year.
Correct,
Okay,
by New Year's Eve.
okay.
So you'll be running up to Concord at 11 o'clock, New Year's Eve, Clay.
What's new? All right, town council charter or revision, point two election. Final report to be published. What does published mean? 2/25 to 2014, final report to be published.
Well, it's, I don't know.
All right, we will,
You got to look at the statute.
Sure, it's something to do with made available
to the public or something?
and is filed for.
Final version, final report to be published, yeah.
Okay,
We may have already done that by then.
So the town council should have on its agenda January 8th, or the meeting prior to January 8th.
I'm sure the chair is watching this, but I'll ensure to bring it up next time.
Yeah. You don't, all surprises by their nature are bad. So you need to start thinking about it now. I'm just full of these aphorisms. You like that?
It's not true.
Yes, it is. It is absolutely true.
all right. Anything else, anyone?
Dude, I'd
And
be
Adam
full of
Schroeder,
these.
that's the other thing that may appear at the next agenda item, our next meeting. Convince him to come.
Now, this may not
Should
even
we
be
reach
bad.
out to our other state reps? Or, I mean, I know that he's on the water or whatever that commission was, but should we reach out to the others?
I don't see any harm in it.
I can drop an email to them.
The Newmarket Democrats, the Newmarket Republicans, the Newmarket Druids, you know, you can reach out to all them.
Leaflets from the drone.
I was thinking leaflets, but I think that's probably littering.
That's true.
Well, I think people wouldn't appreciate that.
Okay, I will invite the other, do you want me to invite them to come, or just kind of update them and tell them?
Well, do we just need someone to introduce an amendment?
Right.
Because, I mean, does it have to be Adam?
No,
If
it
he's
just, I
not
think
be
it,
responsive?
he may be the least, require the least amount of education about what it's
Right.
for, right? Because he's so,
I don't know though how involved he's been or what he's been listening to.
Okay.
But it's the committee that he's on, right? He's on a committee that this will make.
Right.
Yeah.
Evidently, he's supposed to be on this infrastructure committee, but he hasn't been going to any of the meetings. They meet quite often, it seems like, in certain periods, like in a 2-month period, we'll meet 6 big guys, and then they don't meet for a long period after that, it looks like.
okay. I will take a motion.
Are we done?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Tony. Any debate? Oh, you can't debate it. All in favor?
Not debatable.
Aye. We are done. Thank you.